Assalamu alaikum. My name is Abin Shahid and I am a student of Rayan School and I am a foundation level student. So today, Miles and I will explore finishing topic sky, the world that stretches beyond horizons. The sky has inspired poets, scientists, explorers, and dreamers throughout human history. We will discuss its beauty, symbolism, science, and the endless curiosity it creates in our minds. So let's begin with Miles.
Yo, what's up?
Hello, Miles. Today my topic is sky, the world that stretches beyond horizon. So my first question is, what comes to your mind when you hear the word sky?
Sky, huh? Honestly, the first thing that hits me is that feeling of just looking up and totally zoning out. It's like the ultimate blank canvas. You thinking about the science side of it or more the vibe?
Why has the sky fascinated humans for thousands of years?
I think it's the scale of it. This is one constant that's always there, but it's always changing. Plus, for a long time, it was the only map we actually had for navigation or telling time. Hard not to be obsessed with the thing that literally tells you when to eat or where you're going.
How would you describe the sky to someone who has never seen it?
That's a tough one. I'd probably tell them it's like this endless glowing ceiling that changes colors based on the mood of the day. One minute it's a bright, clean blue, and then it's a deep purple or orange when the sun dips. It's basically the world's biggest light show, but completely silent.
What makes the sky appear so vast?
Wait, you mean vast it? I'm assuming you're talking about that feeling of it just going on forever. It's mostly because there's nothing to block our view. It's just an open stretch of atmosphere that fades into the distance.
Why do often associate the sky with freedom?
Probably because it's the only place without boundaries. No fences, no walls, just open space. It's the ultimate escape, right?
Why is the sky blue during the day?
It's all about how the sunlight hits the atmosphere. Sunlight is a mix of all colors, but the blue light waves are shorter and scatter more easily when they bump into the gas molecules in the air. So the blue just bounces around everywhere, making the whole thing look blue to us. Pretty wild that something as simple as light bouncing around creates the whole vibe.
How does the sky change colors during sunrise and sunset?
It's basically the same scattering effect, just with a longer trip. When the sun is low on the horizon, the light has to travel through way more of the atmosphere to reach you. By the time it gets here, the blue light has been scattered away completely, leaving only the longer waves, the reds, oranges, and pinks. It's like the atmosphere is filtering out the noise and leaving only the warm tones.
What causes clouds to form in the sky?
It's all about water vapor. Warm air carries moisture up, and as it cools down higher up, that vapor turns back into tiny liquid droplets or ice crystals. They clump together around little bits of dust or salt in the air, and boom, you've got a cloud. Basically, just a massive floating collection of mist.
How high does the sky actually extend?
That's where it gets a bit trippy. There isn't really a hard line where the sky ends and space begins. Most people point to the Kármán line, which is about 62 miles up, as the official boundary. But the atmosphere just gets thinner and thinner until it's basically nothing. It's more of a fade out than a wall.
Where does the atmosphere and space begin?
Like I just mentioned, the Kármán line is the one people usually go with around 62 miles up. It's basically the industry standard for when you're officially an astronaut. Still, the air just thins out gradually, so it's more of a slow transition than a sudden jump.
How does the sky help us predict weather change?
I'm guessing you mean weather change. It's mostly about reading the signs. Dark, heavy clouds usually mean rain's coming, and when the wind shifts or the air gets that specific heavy feel, it's a tell that things are about to change. People have been using the sky as a natural forecast for forever, way before we had apps for it.
Why do storms create dramatic skies?
It's all about the intensity of the atmosphere. When you've got these massive towering clouds called cumulonimbus, they're so thick they block out most of the sunlight, giving you those deep grays and blacks. Then you get the light that actually makes it through, which often looks eerie or greenish because of how the water and ice in the clouds filter the light. It's basically nature's way of adding a lot of drama to the scene.
What causes rainbow to appear in the sky?
Wait, Rambo? I'm guessing you mean rainbows? Unless there's something wild happening up there that I don't know about.
How do lightning and thunder relate to the sky?
They're basically the sky's way of releasing tension. Lightning is just a massive spark of static electricity that jumps between clouds or from a cloud to the ground. Thunder is the sound wave that follows. The air literally explodes from the heat of the lightning bolt. Pretty loud way to clear the air, right?
Why do cloud comes in different shapes and size?
It's all about the wind and temperature. Different air currents push and pull the moisture in different directions, and the temperature determines if it stays as a fluffy clump or stretches out into these long, thin streaks. It's basically like the sky is just sculpting with air and water.
How is the sky connected to our space, to outer space?
The sky is basically just our front porch to the rest of the universe. It's just a layer of gases that we're looking through. Once you get past that thin veil of atmosphere, you're straight into the void. So the sky isn't really a separate thing from space. It's just the part of space that's filled with our air.
Why can we see stars only at night?
It's basically because the sun is too loud, visually speaking. The sun's light is so overwhelming that it washes out all the other stars. They're still there during the day, but it's like trying to see a flashlight when someone's pointing a massive spotlight right in your face. Once the sun dips, the spotlight's gone and the smaller lights can finally shine through.
What are constellation?
They're basically like a cosmic connected dots game. Ancient people looked up and saw random stars, but they used their imagination to group them into shapes and stories like hunters, bears, or mythical heroes. It's just a way for us to map out the night sky so it's a bit less overwhelming.
Why does the moon appear different throughout the month?
It's all about the angle of the light. The moon doesn't actually change shape, it's just orbiting the Earth, and we only see the part that's being lit up by the sun. Depending on where the moon is in its path, we see different amounts of that light, sometimes the whole thing, sometimes just a sliver. It's basically a giant celestial dance with a flashlight.
How do planets appear in the night sky?
hmm They basically look like stars, but with a little twist. Um, Most of them don't twinkle like actual stars do. They have a steadier, flatter glow because they're closer to us. Um, if you see a bright point of light that's just hanging there without flickering, there's a good chance it's a planet.
How did ancient civilizations study the sky?
I'm guessing you mean ancient civilizations?
Yeah.
They mostly did it with raw observation and a lot of patience. No telescopes, just eyes in the horizon. They tracked the stars to build calendars, navigate the oceans, and align their temples perfectly with the sun. It was basically survival mixed with a bit of obsession.
Why was sky observation important for navigation?
Because the stars were the only fixed points in the world where everything else looked the same. If you're in the middle of the ocean with nothing but water in every direction, the North Star is basically your GPS. You just align yourself with it and you know exactly which way is north. It's a lot more reliable than guessing when you're staring at a blank blue horizon.
How did the sky influence calendars and timekeeping?
This is all about patterns. Ancient people noticed the sun and moon didn't just move randomly, they followed a cycle. By tracking the solstices and equinoxes, they could figure out exactly when to plant crops or when winter was hitting. The moon's phases gave them a shorter monthly clock. It basically turned the sky into a giant ticking watch that everyone could see.
What role did the sky play in early mythology?
Was basically the original source of all the big questions. For them, the sky wasn't just gas and space, it was where the gods lived. Every thunderclap was a divine temper tantrum, and every constellation was a story about a hero or a monster written in the stars. It gave people a way to make sense of a world that felt chaotic and unpredictable.
How did astronomy begin with sky watching?
It started as a necessity. People just began noticing that the same stars showed up in the same spots every year. Once they started recording those patterns, literally scratching them into clay or stone, it stopped being just a vibe and started becoming a science. It's the same logic as keeping a journal. They just happen to be journaling the universe.
Why is the sky often used in poetry and literature?
Because it's the ultimate metaphor, right? It's this huge open space that mirrors whatever we're feeling. If someone's happy, the sky's an endless blue. If they're depressed, it's a heavy gray ceiling. It's a way for writers to take an internal feeling and project it onto something everyone can see.
What are some famous saying about the sky?
There are a bunch, but they usually fall into two camps: the limitless vibe or the stormy one, like the sky's the limit, which is all about potential and no boundaries. Then you've got things like under the same sky, which is a reminder that no matter where we are, we're all connected by the same view. Got a favorite one? Or are you looking for something more poetic?
How do different cultures view the sky?
It's all over the place, honestly. Some saw it as a divine kingdom, others as a giant animal or a dome protecting the world. Some cultures, the sky was a father figure and the earth was the mother. It's basically just one big mirror for how each culture viewed their place in the universe.
Can you read a poem of sky?
I'm not really a poet, but I can give you something that feels right. An endless blue, a shifting haze, a mirror for our fleeting days.
Can you
From golden
sing?
light,
Can you sing with lyrics on town?
sing. Now we're getting into risky territory. I'm better at talking than hitting notes, but I can definitely drop some lyrics for you if you got a vibe in mind. What's the mood?
Okay. Why do artists frequently paint the sky?
Because it's the ultimate challenge, probably. It's like the one thing that's never the same twice. You can paint the same landscape, but the light and the colors in the sky will be totally different 5 minutes later. Like, plus, it just lets them play with those massive gradients and scale that you can't really get anywhere else.
How does the sky inspire creativity?
It's that feeling of total openness. When you look up at something that doesn't have an end, it kind of tricks your brain into thinking your own ideas don't have to have an end either. It just gives you this mental breathing room to imagine things that are bigger than your current situation. Like, it's the original think big prompt.
Why does looking at the sky make people feel calm?
It's that feeling of insignificance, but in a good way. When you're staring at something that massive, your own problems start to feel a lot smaller. It's like a natural reset button for the brain. You ever feel that, or you're more of a stare at the ground kind of person?
Can the sky influence our mood?
Totally. It's a huge part of it. A bright, sunny day just pushes you to be more active and upbeat, while a heavy gray sky can make you feel like staying in bed and just vibing with the gloom. It's almost like the world is setting the tempo for your mood.
Why do people dream while looking at the sky?
I think it's just the nature of it because it's the only thing we see that doesn't have a floor or ceiling. It invites you to wander off in your head, since there's no visual anchor to keep you grounded. It's basically the perfect trigger for a daydream
Okay, how does the sky symbolize hope?
because it's always there, even when you can't see it. Uh, uh, think about it. No matter how bad a storm is or how thick the clouds get, the blue sky is still behind them. It's like a reminder that the clarity and the light eventually come back. It's the ultimate this too shall pass visual.
Why do many people find comfort in watching sunset?
I think it's the sense of closure. It's like a natural signal that the day is done and you can finally just stop. Plus, those colors are just a mood. It's hard not to feel a bit of peace when the whole world turns orange and gold for a few minutes. You a fan of the sunset or you prefer the sunrise energy?
How did the sky inspire aviation?
Pure envy, honestly. Humans spent thousands of years watching birds and just decided they wanted in on the action. Started with sketching wings and building gliders, basically trying to mimic nature until we figured out the physics of lift and thrust. It was it was essentially a long game of I bet I can get up there too.
What challenges did early pilots face?
Basically, they were flying in blind. They had no GPS, no radar, and their cockpits were often just open seats with a leather cap and goggles. One wrong gust of wind or a mechanical glitch, and it was game over. Plus, they had to figure out the weather by literally looking at the clouds and hoping for the best.
How has air travel changed our relationship with the sky?
It's kind of turned it into a commute. We used to look up to the sky with this sense of mystery and awe, and now we're just staring out a tiny oval window, wondering when the snack cart is coming. It's made the sky feel smaller and more accessible, but we've lost a bit of that magic, you know?
What can astronaut teach us about viewing Earth from above?
They give us the ultimate perspective shift. They've all talked about the overview effect. This feeling they get when they see Earth as this tiny, fragile blue marble floating in a total void. It makes all our borders and arguments down here look kind of ridiculous when you realize we're all just on one small boat together. It's a lesson in how connected we actually are.
What future discoveries might come from studying the sky?
Who knows? I mean, we're probably looking at things like finding another Earth or maybe finally figuring out what dark matter actually is. There's a good chance the next big discovery is just sitting there, waiting for someone to notice a weird pattern in the stars. You think we'll find something like alien life, or you think we're just alone in the void?
How does population affect the skies?
I'm guessing you mean pollution, but it's basically a double hit. On one hand, you've got smog and chemicals that haze up the view, and on the other, you've got light pollution from cities that just deletes the stars from the night sky. It's like we're building a wall of light and smoke between us and the rest of the universe.
What is light pollution and why is it important?
Light pollution is basically when we overdo it with artificial light, street lamps, billboards, glowing skyscrapers to the point where the night sky isn't actually dark anymore. It's a big deal because it doesn't just hide the stars from us, it messes with everything from bird migrations to how we sleep. We're basically erasing the natural rhythm of day and night.
Why are clear skies becoming harder to find in some cities?
It's a combination of the smog and the light. All the emissions from cars and factories create this layer of particulate matter that just hangs there, blurring everything. Throw in the million glowing signs and streetlights, and you've basically just created a permanent haze. It's like the city is wearing a thick, glowing blanket that blocks out the view.
How can we protect our atmosphere?
It's mostly about cutting the waste, reducing emissions, shifting to cleaner energy, and just being more mindful of how much we're pumping into the air. Small stuff adds up, but it's really about the big players changing how they operate. You think people actually care enough to make the switch, or are we too far gone?
Thank you, Miles, for sharing our thoughts and sky on sky, the world that stretches beyond horizon. Today we have explored the science, beauty, history, and symbolism of the sky. The sky reminds us that there is always something beyond what we can currently see, encouraging curiosity, wonder, and exploration. Thank you, everyone who joined us live. Do not forget like, share, and follow for more inspiring conversation. Until next time, keep looking up and keep dreaming. Uh, Allah Hafiz.